are dead after being hit by a car in Howard County.
Yeah, and the ID of one of the victims is still a mystery to police this morning. ABC2's Megan Knight is live near that scene in Jessup. Megan, why are police having a tough time figuring out who this is?
Well, Christian and Ashley, they say that that person had no ID on them at the time of the accident, but they do have a couple of unique identifying factors that could help investigators figure out who this person is. They say that she appears to be an African-American transgender woman, early to mid-20s, shoulder-length black hair, and a tattoo on her wrist that says Sina, S-I-N-A. They believe that she is from the Philadelphia area. Police say that she and another person were fighting on Route 1 near Port Capitol Drive in Jessup around 11:15 Saturday night. When they were both hit by a car, they were rushed to shock trauma where they died. The other victim is being identified this morning as 18-year-old Delcy Martinez Hernandez of Elkridge. The driver and the passenger, who are both from the area, were not hurt, and no charges have been filed against them. So anyone with information that could help Howard County Police identify that second victim, they're being asked to call the number 410-313-3700.
5:04 right now. 2 men are dead after separate shootings on Sunday in Baltimore City. Police found an 18-year-old man shot in West Baltimore on McKean Avenue near the intersection of North and Pennsylvania. He died at shock trauma. Also, a man was shot and killed in Southwest Baltimore. Police found him on Collins Avenue near the intersection with Frederick Avenue.
A gruesome scene on Broadway, where police are investigating the murders of 3 people Saturday night, 2 young men and a woman.
We know that they suffered some traumatic injuries, which did result in their death. But at this point, we do not believe that this is some sort of random act.
Police have not yet identified any suspects or a motive, but this man told us the 3 victims are his relatives, 2 cousins, ages 23 and 20, and his grandmother.
When things like this happen to good people, you try to figure it all out.
Police are not revealing how the victims died, but the investigation has given them an operating theory.
Certainly anything inside the home that might show indications of being used during the commissions of the crime is going to be considered as possible evidence.
Police also believe the victims probably knew their attackers.
But certainly it is the exception rather than the rule for any investigation of this nature to involve a complete stranger.
Neighbors seem stunned by the killings. Janice Alexander was visiting friends nearby when she says she heard a noise.
I just heard a bump, like somebody got bumped against the wall. And I hear that a lot, though, you know. So that was nothing unusual to me.
At this point, the killings have more questions than answers, especially for family members.
The bad news is already received. I just need to now know from my own concern, like what happened inside there, man.
In Sacramento, Mike Lurie, KCRA 3 News.
2 people are dead after a boating accident on the Potomac River. The men from Georgia died when a speedboat flipped over during the Potomac River radar run. That was on Saturday. The horrific scene was captured on video. Now we are not going to show you the actual crash.
Well, a man is recovering after being stabbed in North Tulsa. Around 11 o'clock last night, police responded to a stabbing at the Comanche Park Apartments near 36th Street North in Peoria. By the time police arrived, police say that both the suspect and the victim had left. The victim was later located after he went to the hospital. He's expected to be okay, but police arrested the suspect for domestic assault and a battery with a dangerous weapon.
Of killing a man in Yavapai County, police say they responded to a report of a 25-year-old man shot in Rimrock last night. Officers say the man died at the scene and that person may have possibly been targeted. The 17-year-old ran from that scene but was later arrested. We have some breaking news just coming in. Earlier in this newscast, we told you about that deadly crash in California, a truck plunging off the San Diego Coronado Bridge. We have just learned 2 of those victims are from Arizona. They're a 62-year-old man and a 50-year-old woman, both from Chandler. Their names have not yet been released. 2 other people also killed in this. Right now, the driver is in the hospital. We're told he will be arrested for suspicion of DUI. We start with breaking news and an arrest in that deadly knife attack from last night in Phoenix. Word just coming down that Olin Coho is now behind bars. He's charged with second-degree murder in the death of Robert Pruitt. Police say the two knew each other. They got into an argument near 19th Avenue in Peoria. Coho was arrested this morning.
5:04 right now. Two men are dead after separate shootings on Sunday in Baltimore City. Police found an 18-year-old man shot in West Baltimore on McKean Avenue near the intersection of North and Pennsylvania. He died at shock trauma. Also, a man was shot and killed in southwest Baltimore. Police found him on Collins Avenue near the intersection with Frederick Avenue.
Thank you, Tony. The latest developments now on the two Boston police officers who were shot while responding to a domestic disturbance call Wednesday night. Both officers are facing a long recovery. Eyewitness News reporter Kelly Sullivan is live in studio now with more.
Shannon, Boston Police Commissioner William Evans says he visited both officers today who remain in the hospital in critical but stable condition. According to Evans, officers Richard Santolo and Matthew Morris need more surgery. Evans says one of the officers was undergoing surgery this morning and the other was awaiting surgery. Police say Santolo and Morris took blasts from a tactical shotgun fired by Kirk Figueroa, who was shot and killed by other officers on scene. WBZ in Boston reports investigators removed more evidence today from Figueroa's East Boston home. Boston police say the disturbance the officers responded to may have started as an argument over a thermostat between Figueroa and his roommate. Now, among those expressing support for Boston police today was Patriots head coach Bill Belichick. He says he wants the police to know that the team is behind them and appreciates all that the officers do. I'm Kelly Sullivan, Eyewitness News.
The death toll continues to rise in North Carolina as the effects of Hurricane Matthew are still being felt. Searchers found two more bodies in submerged cars, bringing the number killed to 26. At a news conference today, Governor Pat McCrory said some areas are still underwater. He said floodwaters likely won't recede until the middle of next week. So far, Hurricane Matthew has been blamed for 43 deaths in the United States and more than 500. 21 people are dead and 8 are missing in Vietnam after nearly a week of severe flooding. Heavy rains caused floods in several areas of central Vietnam. Floods submerged over 100,000 homes in 3 provinces. The floods also cut off highway and railroad routes to the country's north and south, isolating dozens of communities in the region. Although the rain has stopped, the area is now bracing for a typhoon that already killed 2 people in the Philippines.
New this morning, police in Rhode Island are investigating after a person was struck and killed by an Amtrak train. According to an Amtrak spokesperson, the regional train was traveling from Boston to Rhode Island when it hit the person on the tracks. None of the 378 passengers aboard the train were hurt. Police have not identified the victim yet, but witnesses say it was a teenage girl.
The nation now, 2 Wisconsin men are facing charges accused of planning to join ISIS. A federal complaint shows the 2 drove from Wisconsin to Texas with plans to cross over the border and eventually travel to Iraq or Syria. One of the men is charged with trying to aid a foreign terrorist organization. The other is charged with trying to help. In Virginia, 2 men are dead after a speedboat crashed there. A witness says the boat was going 150 miles an hour right before it happened.
At those speeds, it's really hard to survive something like that. Everybody was just horrified.
Video of yesterday's accident shows the boat going airborne and then flipping over. It happened yesterday during the Potomac River Radar Run event. That event lets boaters have their speed clocked by radar. Investigators are trying to figure out if the men were part of that event.